Welcome into another Game Rewind as we look back at the best of the LakePoint Sports Baseball Village in 2024. I'm Cory McCartney, that's Grayson Rosen, and we've got our sights on the 16U National Championship in a matchup that is truly the definition of the two kind of teams that make up the summer circuit as the Georgia Jackets take on the USA Prime National.
Yeah, these are two teams where the Georgia Jackets comprised mostly of Georgia future gamers at the end of the summer, and then this USA Prime lineup. It's all 2027s for the most part. You got a 2028 and a 2026 in the mix. But the USA Prime team certainly a talented team and one that we'll be seeing for many years to come.
Yeah, you say it's a group of players in the Jackets that have been together for years, developed together, and a super team, largely of 2027s, mind you, that is playing up and more than holding their own throughout this tournament. So let's go ahead and take a look at how these teams will line up for this matchup in the 16U National Championship. Leading off for Georgia Jackets is third baseman Hudson Newell. Will be followed by shortstop Luke Nikowski. Then it's second baseman Mason Meehan, center fielder Carson Snipes. Drew Harmon hitting fifth and playing first base. Behind the plate is Chip Gogorski. Trey Wyndham is the DH. Gino Gorowski playing left field. Ellis Aldridge in right, and Diego Becerra, the lefty, will be on the mound. Meanwhile, for USA Prime National, leading off with left fielder Jordan Griffin, followed by shortstop Chase Fuller. Then it's DH Lass Henderson, center fielder Kyler Message. Then it's Jordan Porkchop Alvarado, the extra hitter, followed by Aiden Salinas, the third baseman. Then seventh hitter is Dexter McCleon Jr. playing right field. Ethan Armbruster is the first baseman hitting eighth. Eli Jones, the second baseman, hitting ninth. Maddox Lassard will be behind the plate. Landon Green is the extra hitter, and Samir Foster, the right-hander, will be on the mound. So let's hit the baseball village for this week's Game Rewind. Mentioned Samir Foster on the mound. A lot of the profiles say Samir Muhammad, so we'd love someday to get to the bottom of that. But an absolute ridiculous arm that's on the mound for USA Prime National. We'll start this thing off, and he will be facing off against Luke Nikowski, the shortstop. Excuse me, Hudson Newell, the third baseman. Luke Nikowski is the on-deck circle.
Yeah, Samir Foster, Muhammad on the mound. We'll go with Samir Foster for the broadcast today. But one of the special talents that you'll see, especially in this class of 2027, and it's really, I think it comes down to the build and the ability at such a young age to deliver a pitch. That was a bad hit there.
Oh, man, yeah, he hit Newell, the Gardner-Webb commit. I mean, he hit him hard, slammed his helmet down, and you can understand the frustration there because when Foster delivers, I mean, there's some serious velocity behind the ball with this guy on the mound, 94 mile an hour fastball. Ryan Williams, their coach from Georgia Jackets over there, checking his guy out. Foster's got a curveball 75, 77, and changeup 79 to 81, but clearly that was that fastball that he can absolutely wreak havoc with, and Hudson Newell dealing with the ramifications of that as he makes his way down to first base. Foster is the top-ranked right-handed pitcher in Florida, number 3 overall in the class of 2027. You're going to hear us say 2027 a lot when it comes to this USA Prime National team. And mind you, these are 15-year-olds playing in the 16U National Championship, and this matchup that you're currently watching is a semifinal game from this tournament. So these are guys that more than lived up to the capabilities of their talent level despite their being 15 years old.
Now we get to see Luke Nikowski come to the plate at a Creekview High School up in the northern parts of Cherokee County.
Nikowski pops the first one up, and the son of C.J. Nikowski, of course, the Braves broadcaster and longtime MLB vet, pops out for the first out, leave Newell at first. Now here comes Mason Meehan. Meehan playing second base today.
Meehan, a Kennesaw State commit.
He had a West Forsyth. He was a 2024 preseason All-State, 2022 junior feature gamer. 6th-ranked catcher in Georgia, 55th overall in the class, playing second base today. First offering for Foster misses. Fastball at 91 miles an hour.
And this Georgia Jackets team is just loaded with guys that, especially Hudson Graham, Ian Smith, they really like a lot of these guys, a lot of these names, and Meehan's one that has gotten brought up quite a few times with the two of them.
Meehan puts that in play, second baseman throws over to short for one and throws to first for the inning-ending double play. Nice job defensively there from USA Prime National to get us through half an inning. We'll be back with this Game Rewind.
Grilling is an art. Don't forget to add sausage, Picasso. keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect, I'm the man in command, come, flow with the sounds of the mighty.
Sequoia's Diego Becerra on the mound for Georgia Jackets, and he'll be facing off against Jordan Griffin, Chase Fuller, and Lash Henderson to start things off here. Man, I can't imagine a more daunting 1-2-3 for any pitcher to be facing, as he's now got Jordan Griffin, the #1 player in Louisiana, to start things off here.
Yeah, definitely just all the way up and down this lineup, you're kind of just got to keep in your mind that you're facing some elite hitters at the plate, and Jordan Griffin a good way to start it.
And Griffin skies that one into center field. Finally hauls that one in. Man, that was up there forever. Yeah, you got a roster that includes the #1 player in Florida in 2027, the #1 player in Louisiana, who we just saw in Griffin, the #1 player in Texas in 2027, #1 player in Washington, and the #1 player in the nation in 2028, who we'll see here shortly. So, yeah, an absolute daunting task here. And here is Chase Fuller, the #1 player in Florida.
#3 in the nation.
A Florida State commit, a rarity among 2027s, but I think you can easily tie that back to the fact that his dad, Cory Fuller, is this Florida State football director of football relations and a former NFL defensive back who was a longtime Florida State Seminole himself.
Always rooting for him as a Noles fan myself. Love to see all these guys out here. You got a Florida State commit over there playing first base, and Drew Harmon.
That's
Georgia
right.
Jackets.
Swing and a miss by Becerra. Give some love to Becerra here, the 5th-ranked lefty in Georgia, 41st overall in the class, 2024 future gamer. I mentioned this to you during the commercial break. I don't understand how Diego Becerra is currently uncommitted. I would imagine coming out of the future games, a lefty that can get it up to 93, 92 and spin it like he can, 2,500 RPMs on that curveball. I've imagined the offers have come, maybe just not the right offer for Diego Becerra at this point.
Yeah, I think there's actually a number of guys in this lineup for Georgia Jackets just in this game that I think are just still kind of holding out on maybe a bigger offer, or maybe, you know, potentially nowadays you're talking about like NIL packages and things of that nature that guys could be holding out for. Chip Legorski behind the plate right now.
Yeah.
One of those guys that's maybe holding out on a bigger offer.
Man, just a nasty strike out there as he gets Fuller down on strikes, and there's now 2 down. We're now going to get a look at Lash Henderson, the top-ranked player in the state of Texas. Had Lash during the future games, which would obviously be the culmination of so many of these players' summers. He joined me during our watch party broadcast, and this is a guy that, you know, you need to talk about physical specimens, and Brian Snicker, the Braves coach, always used to say that's what they look like. Well, Lash Henderson at 6'4", 211 pounds, that's what they look like.
Yeah, definitely just a prototype. And I think, you know, at such a young age as well, it's so hard to find guys in that physical shape. But, you know, we talked about Samir Foster as well. At their age, to have that already kind of pro build is extremely impressive. And it's the reason why, as he stepped foot here when this game actually happened, he was the #1 player in the country. And I think, you know, a lot of times it's just you got to give everybody else time to grow into that same shape. But Lash certainly a special prospect.
He lines out to end the inning. We're through 1. We're scoreless. We'll be back with more from the 16U National Championship.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Inning number 2, Samir Foster back on the mound for USA Prime National. He'll be facing Carson Snipes, Drew Harmon, and Chip Glogorski here for Georgia Jackets as they try to break through and get something going. Had a leadoff hitter reach the first inning, but that was a hit by pitch. Clearly don't want a repeat of that as Snipes put the first ball in play, and that one is down the left side, and it's going to go foul. 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, good effort there from Chase Fuller at shortstop. Almost ran it down. It looked like we saw the open glove. It was a little bit out of the frame of our cameras, but it seemed like he gave it a good run.
Carson Snipes at the plate out of Marietta High School, another uncommitted player for Georgia Jackets, 21st overall outfielder in Georgia, 89th ranking in the state. 2024 preseason All-State. This one's in play. That one's going to be gathered at short. Throw is in time for the first out.
Chase Fuller showing off some good work so far playing shortstop. We saw him on the receiving end of that double play, and now a clean play there at short on a pretty slow roller. It looked like he got it off the end of the bat and just kind of fell to him, made a good play to first.
Yeah, the remade 2027 rankings came out about a month or so ago, and Shooter Hunt and I did a breakdown on it, and we talked about Fuller. And man, you just look at a guy who, you know, has so much going on as that one's right back to Foster, and he'll gather, flip it to first for the second out. Fuller exit velo is 97.8 and a fastball at 93 miles an hour. I mean, it's just the guy can get it done at short, can get it done on the mound, get it done at the plate. And should he wind up at Florida State, and there's a long time to go before he would be in Tallahassee, they could end up getting a very, very special talent. Speaking of guys on their way to potentially Florida State, we just saw Drew Harmon ground out. Now here's Chip Glogorski, the catcher. Chip sends the first one down the side. He's got that towel flap in the back pocket.
Yeah, he's a guy that we got to talk to as well this summer.
Yeah.
We did the talk back with him.
Yeah, Chip is a lot of fun. 2024 feature gamer, 24 preseason All-State out of Kings Ridge Christian. Third-ranked catcher in Georgia, 34th overall. Pop time's down to 1.89. Catcher velo at 83 at the plate. Exit velo's north of 100 miles an hour. Again, another guy that I thought for sure Chip would have been going into the school year in the fall of 2024 being committed, and stunned that we were sitting here in 2025 and he has yet to make an announcement.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed getting to see this Georgia Jackets team a lot this summer is that Chip really handles himself very professionally behind the plate.
He's going down on strikes, and we'll talk plenty more about Chip when we come back, as he'll be back behind the plate. We're through 1.5 in this game rewind.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage and keep it juicy.
Woogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty Mike.
Get a look at Kyler Message, Jordan Porkchop Alvarado, and Aiden Salinas here in the bottom of the second inning for USA Prime National. I think that's the first time, or maybe I guess they've already done it once. So this is the only broadcast where you'll probably hear Porkchops talked about, as we'll get a look at Alvarado here coming shortly. But Message going to be at the plate right now for USA Prime National out of IMG Academy, another uncommitted. I say another uncommitted 2027 because there's so many committed players on a team where you typically wouldn't have committed players. But as we mentioned during the break to each other, there's a lot of guys who committed very, very early among this extremely talented USA Prime National squad.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You got 4 commits on this USA Prime squad, but the one guy not committed that can, or the one guy that can be committed is not committed, which is Maddox Lassard, who's playing behind the plate today.
Diego Becerra misses on that one. Yeah, Message is the #1 outfielder in Florida in 27, 9th overall. He's 13th ranked outfielder in the nation, 35th overall.
Yeah, I think when it comes to positional rankings, if you're an outfielder or a shortstop, it's probably the most competitive you'll find when you're looking at those national rankings.
I think right-handed pitcher too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, righties, shortstops, and outfielders. I mean, that's just such a such a crapshoot. Swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes, and Diego Becerra is in his bag early on here against USA Prime National.
Absolutely love the high heat right there after missing low 2 times in a row. Totally changes eye angle and catch him. He only threw at 88, which, you know, we've seen Becerra get much higher than that, but 88 will get it done right there.
Here is Pork Chop Alvarado out of Uvalde High School in Texas, a high school that obviously so much of the country became familiar with. He's the 4th-ranked catcher in Texas, 50th overall. Pot time's down to 2 seconds. He's got a catcher velo around 75, but at the plate 91 mile-an-hour exit velos. Bat speed north of 71 miles an hour for the 5'10", 250-pound righty.
Yeah, and some glowing gear.
Yeah,
at the plate.
Breaking ball from Becerra misses. Remember this being an extremely warm day. You can see the body armor tent back there with the misters going. Man, swing and a miss and kind of an awkward swing there.
Yeah, and I definitely remember the semifinal game that was opposite this one, the one on field 9 that ended up going 9 innings and had us waiting quite a while to do the championship game here.
Yeah, Indiana Bulls would eventually get themselves a spot in the national championship final.
And they play the winner of this game, but yeah, they went deep with East Cobb Astros Navy over there on field 9.
Yeah, that was a great finish. Following Alvarado will be Aiden Salinas, the Miami commit. Miss inside out of the hands of Becerra.
Slow-mo of Becerra walking back to the mound, buttoning up his jersey, it looks like.
That's right, yeah. We should add some music to that one. Maybe he can make that as a Valentine's Day post. Something a little sultry will have Diego Becerra can post that as he finds himself a Valentine. He's going to walk Pork Chop Alvarado with 1 down, and now here comes Aiden Salinas out of London ISD in Texas. Mentioned a Miami commitment for the 6'2", 270-pounder, 5th-ranked shortstop in Texas. And you talk about positions where there is a ton of talent. Yeah. A Texas shortstop is probably extremely hard and I would say probably only second to Texas right-handed pitcher to try to find your way up those rankings. But he sits 5th, 20th overall in the class, number 40 at his position nationally, and 141 overall. He's got some serious swag. Yeah,
I was about to say, we talked about the gear with Alvarado, but it looks like he's got the head tie hanging out the back of the helmet. You've got arm sleeve on the right, elbow guard on the left, sliding mitt in the pocket.
So you previously worked at Dick's Sporting Goods, and if Aiden Salinas had come in, you were in for a pretty big bill when he was walking out the door as he swings in the miss there.
Yeah, and from the looks of the gear he's got on, I'm going to go with custom ordered, I'm thinking. He's got all the colors. It's hard to find those colorways unless you make your way to a really good, well-stocked Academy Sports and Outdoors. But, yeah, Salinas definitely dripped out there. And fun fact, his father is a coach for a college softball team. But they also, I'm not sure if they're still operating, but they had a custom glove business as well that I saw when I was looking through Aiden's socials. So maybe he's got himself a custom family business glove.
There you go. Yeah, he's got connections.
Let's see what happens here. Becerra definitely, holding his own, but being run into some long at bats here in this inning.
And we're still sitting here scoreless in the second. Lefty delivers, sends that one foul. This next pitch will be the 16th of the inning for Becerra. There's 27 pitches overall. Misses high on the fastball.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody go for the sand up there on the mound for your hand. That was a interesting move.
See if it has him going breaking ball. It was low on the fastball. He's going to miss that one at 87. So the count is now full. got Alvarado at first off the walk. See if Salinas follows him. One down.
Yeah, and Alvarado not necessarily a speedy guy, so getting him to second base would be very helpful in your chances
Swing and a miss on the elevated fastball. Salinas goes down on strikes, and Diego Becerra got himself one out from getting out of this after giving up a walk to Alvarado, but now he has to deal with the #1 ranked player in the nation in the class of 2028, and that's Buford's Dexter McCleon Jr.
Yeah, that Buford lineup is going to be a pretty team to watch this season. The state of Georgia is being blessed with baseball talent this spring, but Dexter definitely the next age of it.
Standing on the Audi Marietta Championship field, this is the field where I actually did an interview with Dexter McCleon Jr. a couple years ago. As you mentioned, it performed quite well for us, especially on TikTok. But a guy that has been in the spotlight, I guess, is a matter of speaking for a long time now, because as we said in 2025, that interview I did with him was 2 years ago. #1 player in the nation, as I mentioned, in 2028. You talk about a guy that just has seemingly everything you're looking for. 6'3", 200 pounds. 60 time of 6.62. Exit velos at 98.5, bat speed of 84.4. Got him a strike on there. And he has a fastball that runs up to 92, along with a curveball that dips down into 77 miles an hour for the 2023 junior future gamer. This guy, a ways off, but has to have every program in the country salivating at the potential of him stepping foot onto a campus, which may never happen.
Yeah, but, you know, there is a clear front runner if you're kind of looking on the outside or looking from the outside. It's Clemson with his father's connections to Clemson. It seems like, you know, they've certainly got a shot there.
Yeah, his dad, a two-sport athlete at Clemson before he went on to an illustrious NFL career. What's interesting about McCleon in the 2028s, and as he goes down on strikes, we'll actually continue that conversation a little bit later, as we'll get to another look at McCleon soon enough. We're through another scoreless inning. You're watching This Game Rewind.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere? And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women. We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Samir Foster going back to work for USA Prime National, and he'll be facing off against Trey Wyndham, Gino Gorowski, and Ellis Aldridge. We get near the bottom of the order for Georgia Jackets here in the third inning. Wyndham at the plate from North Forsyth High School, the 45th ranked catcher in Georgia. 291 overall. A lot of ranked catchers, by the way, in this Jackets team.
Yeah, they must have some good catching coaches in that organization.
First one is Sky back, and that one is trouble, making his way into second base, and Trey Wyndham is going to hold there with a leadoff double to get things going for Georgia Jackets here in the third.
That's a great piece of hitting to start off the inning. I feel like, you know, to this point, Samir Foster on the mounds looked pretty locked down, but a great start there for Wyndham.
What's funny is we talk about Wyndham as a ranked catcher, and you say the same thing with Alvarado when he got at first base. How often do these guys run?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I'm sure more often than not they're getting a courtesy runner as a catcher, and these guys are going to have to go out there and man the base pass themselves. So with Wyndham at second base, here's Gino Goralski. Gino, another one that we spent a lot of time with this past summer. He would go on to be member of the 2024 Future Game team for Georgia out of Denmark. Another uncommitted player, but he's the 7th-ranked outfielder in Georgia, 24th overall, number 60 at his position nationally, and 355 overall. This is a guy that can absolutely fly, 6'8" in the 60. Also bat speeds nearly 100 miles an hour. As he shows bunt, pulls back. He was also preseason All-State in 24 and 2025.
Yeah, Gino's a guy as well. We talked about the relationship between kind of Georgia Jackets and the rest of this team, the Prep Baseball Georgia guys. Gino's definitely a guy that's on their good side, to say the least.
Yeah, it's interesting because you always see programs. He shows bunt again, and that one is going to be popped up, and Foster's going to catch that. Going back to second in time. Some depth base running there from Wyndham, and he'll be standing at second base once again.
Yeah, great work right there by Samir Foster to get off the mound and play some defense for himself. That's one that typically drops for a pitcher that's maybe a little more focused on just making his pitches there, but good work to break on that popped-up bunt and get the out yourself, and almost got the one at second, too, in an impressive show of athleticism.
Here's Ellis Aldridge out of North Forsyth, the Kennesaw State commit. Bottom of the order here for Georgia Jackets. Swing and a miss. Man, that one at 89 miles an hour. But you mentioned the relationship between Georgia Jackets and Prep Baseball Georgia. It seems like there's a program for each state where you can kind of almost look like a pipeline for guys that wind up playing in the feature games. And Georgia Jackets, partly because they spend so much time playing in prep baseball events, get a lot of time in front of these scouts. And that's not to say that these guys aren't talented, aren't worthy of spots ultimately in the feature games, but there always seems to be, for each state, it's those programs where you can kind of, it's Excel for Alabama. It's just, it just seems like seemingly for Bo Jackson for Ohio, it's just a lot of guys that end up as almost a pipeline to the future games.
Yeah, and you also, Prep Baseball offers their scout days as well.
That's true.
And Georgia Jackets, like you mentioned, Excel, those are the kinds of programs that are doing those with Prep Baseball, which just helps them get more eyes on them. I think, it's not a matter of, oh, we're only going to look for guys from these programs because we have a connection to them. It's just that you get to see them more often, and you get to see such great things out of them so regularly, it's hard to kind of take your eyes off.
And it's not always about a look. Sometimes it's about multiple looks. As you can see a guy, across tournaments, you see how he handles different kinds of pitchers. You've seen him, the highs and the lows with a guy. Maybe you have a different read on them as opposed to somebody who maybe stops through for one tournament or one scout day. Certainly is to the benefit to get in front of the prep baseball scouts as often as you possibly can. And again, Georgia Jackets have certainly taken advantage of that. Swing and a miss, and Foster gets him down on strike, so Aldridge goes down and went out back to the top of the order, and Hudson Newell.
Yeah, Foster putting together some great at-bats to this point in this game.
Newell out of North Cobb Christian, Gardner-Webb commit. 12th ranked catcher in Georgia, another guy who's maybe not used to running so much, but
yeah, maybe it's a bit of a curse to have so many good catchers in your lineup.
That's right. Well, I think you offset it by having guys like Gino Goralski that can run so well.
That is true.
Maybe if you
but
average
he's the guy
out,
he's the guy that could get the courtesy
That's
run.
true. You average out the 60 times, I guess, and that ends up making your team look faster.
That's fair. Foster giving a good look back to second base for Wyndham.
Comes the 1-0. Newell puts that in play. That'll be into left field. Wyndham making his way home. The throw is in time. They got him, mowed him down at home. Great throw from left field and able to deny Georgia Jackets the run. We are still scoreless as they're hopping around celebrating. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Diego Becerra back to work for Georgia Jackets here in the third inning, and he'll be facing off against Ethan Armbruster, Eli Jones, and Maddox Lassard. Armbruster at the plate out of Westlake High School in Texas. He's second-ranked right-handed pitcher in the state. He's playing first base today for USA Prime National.
Yeah, in the break we were talking about some of the notable athletic alumni, at least. They have a much longer list than just this, but quarterback school for sure. Drew Brees, Nick Foles, Sam Ehlinger, and Cade Klubnik. So kind of multiple years of a quarterback lineage there at Westlake. And then you got Justin Tucker, one of the best kickers of all time. Maybe not this season, but you know,
no one's
cut him some slack.
No one's a good kicker in 2024.
And then some recent baseball success straight out of high school. 18th pick last year by the Rays, Theo Gillen as well. One of the top 100 prospects right now.
Miss low there from Becerra. Armbruster with a pop time down to 191. Catcher velo of 81 at the plate. He's exit velo at 93. Also runs a 6.860.
Yeah, you don't typically find a guy who's primarily a right-handed pitcher, secondary catcher.
Yeah. Except for a strike. Yeah, the fastball, by the way. We've got it at around 88, which I have to imagine is probably a dated number. Also got a curveball around 72, 75, and change up 77 to 78, and hooks in a slider. But doing his business today at the plate and at first base, and he's going to get a leadoff walk here against Becerra, and that's going to give us a look at Eli Jones. Jones coming in as the #1 ranked player in Washington. He's an Oregon State commit out of Woodinville High School, 5'11", 190-pounder. See if he can cash in on this leadoff walk as that one gets away from Goralski. Gonna hold on to it. Chip was just begging him to test the arm.
Yeah. That's one thing about catchers, especially ones that are really strong defensively, is they're always just kind of, they're chomping at the bit back there to try and get something to happen for them. Something a little more exciting than just
throwing it back to the pitcher.
Catching a fastball.
To do theirs, that's in for a strike.
Like that call too much there at the plate.
Counts now 1-1 to Jones. 25th ranked shortstop in Washington, number 95 overall. Taking off for second base. Goralski's throw is not in time.
Good close one. It seemed like Chip just kind of got a little bit, just kind of fumbled there coming out of his stance, and then he put a dot there. It got there on time. Just good slide there by Armbruster.
Yeah, around the back of the bag there. You almost wonder if he came off a little bit, thinking that Nikowski had got him. Another low one that gets away from Chip. Armbruster will stay at second. So he follows up the leadoff walk to Armbruster in what remains a scoreless game. We saw just an absolute dart from left field from Jordan Griffin to get us out of the last half an inning and deny Georgia Jackets a first run. But he's going to walk to Jones, so we're going to have runners at first and second after back-to-back walks and nobody out here in the third.
Yeah, with Becerra running into a little bit of trouble here for the first time this game, probably a good time to come out, have a conversation on the mound, kind of try and calm everybody down across the board here.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of time to talk about it because it did end the inning, but that was an absolute dart from Jordan Griffin to nail Trey Wyndham at the plate and deny Georgia Jackets that early lead. Man, you talk about a guy that just, I mean, the metrics that we have on him on the prep baseball side maybe aren't as up to date as some of the other locations, but man, he's the 60 time is 6.46. Exit velo of 92, outfield velo of 89 miles an hour. We saw that play itself out there as Griffin mowed down Wyndham at home.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable talent, and that's what you'll find with these guys that are already committed at such a young age. When they commit before high school, you kind of have to know, like, okay, these are the guys that are the real deal, especially at a young age. And I think the biggest thing is just to make sure you keep growing as you go, and it seems like Jordan Griffin's doing just that.
Well, the antithesis of that is at the plate now, and Maddox Lassard, who it has to be weird for him that he's got guys that are 2027s that are already committed, and Lassard, a 6 foot, 185 pounder in a really low crouch.
I was about to say, I've never gotten to see him play. Maybe he caught my eye one time at future games, but that is that's a stance you just love to see a guy that does that. Some like vintage Pujols like stance.
Well, that's lower than Pujols.
Yeah,
he's getting down there
real
like
low.
yeah, that's like some wall squats you guys would do for punishment here for the. But a 2024 future gamer, 22 junior feature gamer, remains uncommitted, though, out of Muskego, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, a 1.95 pop time behind the plate, certainly an enticing catching prospect, and see what he can do at the plate. I'd like to think that kind of stance could get you some real explosion when it comes to weight transfer and hip rotation. We'll see if we can see that on display.
Swing and a miss on a changeup at 79.
That's a great pitch right there by Becerra. A pitch that kind of made him stand up out of that stance a little bit.
Lassard has looked awfully strong behind the plate so far. See what he can do at the plate as that one's going to get away from Goralski. Having a little bit of an issue there. We've noticed that a few times there, whether or not Chip's just having a hard time holding on to the ball. Maybe there might be a miscommunication on the calls, but that's maybe the third or fourth pitch we've seen this inning out of Becerra's hands that Chip's had a little bit of hard time holding on to.
Yeah, and I think this is something that we kind of talked about when it was going on, but, looking back at it, we're talking about kind of like early July here, mid-July. It's hard to hold on to the ball sometimes. You get the sweat dripping down off the arm, and it makes things tough, but he gets the strikeout right there.
So Lassard goes down on strikes, a key out there, and now we're going to get a look at Landon Green. Landon Green doing something that a lot of people don't get to see him do very often. That's hit for the A3 Academy right-hander. He's the number 2 right-hander in Florida, number 4 overall. He's the second-ranked right-hander in the nation, 12th overall.
Yeah.
Known for ripping off fastballs at 94 miles an hour.
In both of those categories, he's only behind Samir Foster, who's on the mound today. So it's certainly not a downgrade to have Samir Foster on the mound. Yeah, surprised to see, there's not a particular number. You just have to have at least 9 people in your lineup and in these prep baseball tournaments. But Landon Green making it 11. In this lineup for USA Prime. Just, I think, trying to get the guys out on the field. Why not? See what somebody can do, especially this is a semifinal game. Might as well give yourself as many opportunities to have some offense from someone.
See if Green can cash in. He's got runners at first and second in the form of Armbruster and Jones.
See if Becerra can kind of pitch out of the first sticky situation he's found himself in yet.
Runners both taking off. The throw to third is going to get away from him. Let's see if he's going to hold at third. Could have been all kinds of trouble, but at least that ball came to a slow roll, because if that had kept going, easily would have seen Armbruster cross home plate, but instead there'll be runners at second and third with 1 out.
Yeah, it was a quick throw there by Gligorski behind the plate. It's just, it seemed like he put it on the front side of the base, and then when you're trying to whip that glove back around to get the tag down, you miss it on the transfer there. Now a little bit more trouble here for Becerra on the mound with both runners in scoring position.
Big swing and a miss there from Green. That fastball at 86 is going to make the count 1-2. First real stress pitches that we've seen for Becerra here, and the next one that he throws will be the 54th as we sit here in the 4th.
Yeah, and with only 1 out here.
Bottom of the 3rd, excuse me.
You're also trying to avoid soft contact in the infield.
Bouncer in front of Gligorski. He'll stop that and run the count full.
You see on that one a little bit of frustration showing for Becerra, who just seems like every now and then he's just kind of missing the mark, not getting his release point just correct. Takes a deep breath there before he toes the rubber.
Fastball inside, and now the count will be full. Excuse me, I was a pitch ahead of myself. So now we've got a full count, runners at second and third, and the last thing Becerra wants to do now is load the bases with Jordan Griffin standing in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch. Oh, gets him on the outside corner. Landon Green goes down on strikes, and now 2 down. An 86-mile-an-hour fastball gives them the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and that was one of the first times we saw Becerra go to that outer half of the plate in that at-bat. So Landon Green certainly not looking for that spot, and then just delivers a pretty strong fastball there. Not killing the velo there, only an 86-mile-per-hour fastball, but gets it in the right spot for the call.
So Jordan Griffin set the stage for the biggest moment so far in this game when he mowed down Trey Wyndham at home to deny Georgia Jackets a run. Let's see what he can do here now with 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the third. Oh, that's in for a strike, and Griffin wants that one back.
He knew it immediately.
Fastball at 88. He wants that pitch back. Let's see what he can do here in an 0-1 count.
I think sometimes it's just tough to know your approach when you get to the plate right here. And you've got 2 runners in scoring position, and you know you can make something happen, but there's 2 outs, and you got to, make sure you don't bring this thing to a close too early.
Swinging here, this one's in play.
Another high pop-up for
Nikowski camping underneath it. He has got it. They will strand 2. We are still scoreless. What's mounting up to be a classic here. We'll be back with this Game Rewind.
Grilling is an art. Don't forget to add sausage, Picasso. Keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty.
It's Luke Nikowski, followed by Mason Meehan and Carson Snipes for Georgia Jackets here as we enter the 4th inning of this scoreless matchup in our 16U Game Rewind. Samir Foster returns on the mound, looking extremely sharp for USA Prime National. It's a good matchup here as you got one of the top-ranked right-handed pitchers in the nation going against Nikowski, Georgia Tech commit out of Creekview. This is inside on ball 1. The 8th-ranked right-handed pitcher in Georgia, 21st overall. Mentioned earlier, obviously the son of C.J. Nikowski, the Braves announcer, a longtime pro.
Yeah, I think, with Luke, there's a lot to dream on with him. He's obviously young, but I think Georgia Tech has definitely got their eyes on getting some weight on him. And as a right-handed pitcher, it seems like that's going to be his primary spot. He's already up to 90, like you noted. And you see he's a little bit, at least undersized weight-wise. If you can put muscle onto that build, it's going to transform him into such a great player. And then, of course, he has his dad who can mentor him and help him kind of grow as a pitcher. So certainly a guy to look forward to for years to come.
So think about this. He's already up to 90 on the fastball, 2,200 spin, and he's 155 pounds. So there's a lot that could happen as that one drops in front of the center fielder for a leadoff single for Nikowski.
Good work right there to get something started here for Georgia Jackets. You had a great chance, kind of stolen away from you from an even better play by Jordan Griffin out there in left, but now you eye towards another chance of scoring here with an opening single.
Kennesaw State commit Mason Meehan will try to capitalize on Nikowski's leadoff single. 5'9", 170 pounder from West Forsyth. That bunt down, Foster has it, throws to first, and they will advance Nikowski.
A little bit of small ball here from Georgia Jackets, which sometimes you like to see. I know there's a stigma around not bunting and just wanting to hit home runs, but sometimes you have to just appreciate some good base-to-base work, and now you have a runner in scoring position, 1 out. It's an ideal situation to find yourself in.
See if Carson Snipes from Marietta can keep the line rolling. Going to miss. We haven't seen a lot of pitches for Foster yet out of the stretch. Nice swing and a miss at a fastball at 88 for strike two, or strike one, excuse me. One thing you'll say about Foster is the composure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if he's got a runner at second base, beside the fact that we're literally looking at him. Just the demeanor on the mound has not changed whatsoever.
No, not at all. And I think a big thing as well is like we talk about with a lot of the guys, especially in this game, is the professional look. The guys that, like, I could see Samir Mohammed or Samir Foster out on the mound in a spring training game in a couple weeks, and I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever that he's out there. He wouldn't look necessarily younger than most of the guys. He wouldn't look smaller than most of the guys. He's got the build. He's got the composure. It's just a matter of the fact that he's a young player and still has a lot of growth to do just as a player.
Look, I think that's kind of par for the territory when you talk about these national teams where they bring all these guys in. I think there's almost a professionalism about the fact that them coming together and feeling like it's a business trip, as opposed to, not saying that the guys in the Georgia Jackets number of them don't carry themselves the exact same way. They're used to being together. They're used to working through tournaments together. They're used to, playing on these fields together. For these USA Prime National guys, this was a stop for the summer for them.
Yes.
They come together.
Yes,
they're only
definitely.
together for a small amount of time, and they are out there to come together and do some damage. And I think that kind of plays into the way that they carry themselves.
Yeah, I think, the only time where you see those two things kind of come together, and that was a great pitch there to get the strikeout by Foster, but where you see kind of the camaraderie of putting a team together, but then also the summer is just one kind of endless trip, is the teams that we see come out of Hawaii. I think you kind of blend this team and family that gets to spend so much time together with kind of the professionalism and the business trip style of the summer.
Got Drew Harmon now, the Florida State commit at the plate, and we have to slow things down just because it's so pretty coming out of the hands of Samir Foster. That's in for a strike.
Yeah, Harmon, one of the early guys that found himself a commitment out of future games, and was definitely a guy that was just kind of trending up quickly within the spring. He then took a huge jump after the spring and played a great summer, and found himself with an offer from Florida State that I guess he just couldn't refuse.
Swing and a miss on a nasty 77-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Foster. Counts now 0-2 to Harmon. Harmon from nearby Sequoia High School.
Yeah, pretty amazing to see Sequoia. You go Drew Harmon and Diego Becerra in that rotation this season. It's going to be pretty awesome to watch back-to-back days or on the same day sometimes. You'll see a good weekday or weeknight doubleheader, and you might see Becerra and then Harmon the next game.
That 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Foster misses, so the count is now 1-2. Mikowski's been at second base for a while now. Oh, man, an inning-ending punch-out for Becerra, and they will strand a runner, and we are still scoreless. We'll be back for more from the 16U National Championship.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Diego Becerra out again for the bottom of the fourth inning here for Georgia Jackets, and he will be facing off against Chase Fuller, then Lash Henderson and Kyler Message for USA Prime National in what remains a scoreless game. Semifinals of the 16U National Championship. First offering there fouled back by Fuller. Next pitch will be number 59 for Becerra.
They're definitely getting deep into his day here, and just kind of hoping that he can rewrite the wrongs of last inning. We saw a little bit of control issues, and it's a great piece of hitting to start off the inning right there for Chase Fuller.
Yeah, Fuller just rips that into center field for a base hit.
Yeah, I think with Becerra, you're, I guess, kind of looking to eliminate things like that, but also just the wild and errant throws that we were seeing a little bit this last time out, and hope that he can settle back in and keep rolling. But it is, deep into his day. We're now into inning 4 of work, so wouldn't be too out of the cards to maybe see a pitching change this inning.
Well, 2 pitches into the 4th. He's now pitching from the stretch as Fuller's taken off for second base. Gligorski's throw is, did they get him? They did get him. Man, he came off the bag. The throw was just a tad bit late, but he came off the bag in the slide there, and they're able to apply the tag. Nikowski gets him for the first out.
One of those things you got to think about. Sliding on turf, a lot different than sliding on a dirt baseball field, and I think that caught up to Chase Fuller right there.
Lash Henderson at the plate now at Prestonwood Christian Academy. Mentioned before, the #1 player in Texas now. At this time when this game was going on, he was the #1 player in the nation. He's now number 7 overall in the class of 27. One thing that really struck me being around Lash Henderson is just the way he carries himself. And he and I talked about the respect that he has for officiating, and a lot of that goes back to the fact that his dad, Michael, is a college football official, was the umpire for the Citrus Bowl between South Carolina and Illinois, primarily works a lot of Big 12 games. So he certainly has a different level of understanding when it comes to officials, and he always tells the guys, like, just don't be so hard on the umpires. They all got a job to do, and I think that's certainly, when you got a guy that's of that magnitude that has that kind of a message in a dugout, despite the fact that he's 6'4", 200 pounds.
Yeah, you're probably a little bit scared of him, honestly.
I think it certainly resonates, though, when Lash tells guys to maybe ease off a little bit.
Yeah, I think sometimes, you can find I think a lot of us have spent a lot of times in a dugout, and you'll see some questionable calls every now and then from an umpire, but I think the biggest thing is just keep a level head about it. And we've seen it even on these broadcasts that we've done. You'll see a coach just kind of lose it, but that's the coach's spot. The coach's job is to, looks like we got some camera issues here, but ball sent way out to the wall.
Kyler Message puts that in play. Lash Henderson going to make his way home for the first out. And Kyler Message has himself a double there, and they got a 1-0 lead for USA Prime National. Kind of took us out of our element there with the camera junking, but Kyler Message comes through, and Lash Henderson scores, and USA Prime National got themselves on top here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, obviously we didn't get to see it there on camera, but that was a fastball from Becerra at 85 that Message sent on a line drive way out and just rolled up to the wall. Great work right there to get a run on the board.
Pork Chop Alvarado, will now try to add to this 1-0 lead for USA Prime National, the Uvalde High School catcher. The thing with technology, sometimes it doesn't work the way that you want it to, and jumped ahead on us on Message's double.
It'll happen, but kind of goes back to our conversation about umpires. Those things are just going to happen, and you got to just kind of deal with it and keep playing. And that's what we just did with the technology messing up, and that's what all those baseball players out there have to do with.
Ooh, that was a really close miss from Becerra there. Going to get his way out of this. They had one down off of Chase Fuller trying to steal second, but Lash Henderson walks, and then Message comes through with a RBI double. Message taken off for third, and he will be in there with a stolen base, and now 90 feet away from another run for USA Prime National.
Yeah, kind of starting to see Becerra get a little bit shaken up there. We talked about it a little bit at the start of the inning that he just come off an inning where the control definitely started to slip away from him, and it didn't seem like things were really running away. He was getting balls down the middle here. It's just they were being hit well. Now you're trying to reel it back in, but that pitch maybe a sign of what's to come.
How do you get the nickname Pork Chop?
I don't know. Okay, you can't give it to yourself. So you can go ahead and take that one out. That's not a nickname you give to yourself. You have to earn that one maybe a family member or a coach at a young age gives you that kind of nickname.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, it has certainly stuck as we're talking about Pork Chop Alvarado here.
It definitely helps when you use it on your social profiles. When you start using it, it's kind of like Harry Jones Jr., Chubb.
Yeah, I think about
everybody knows
Stephen
him like
Malam.
that.
You know, everyone calls him Monster. You know, we had Stephen Monster here many times in the past as well. He's now at LSU.
Yeah, I think there's some guys where just a nickname kind of ends up taking the center stage for what you're known as when, you know, you're a good enough player that maybe it warrants giving you some love.
Walk to Alvarado, and now going to be runners at the corners here with Aiden Salinas striding to the plate.
This is
the walking,
huge.
talking sporting goods store now ready to cash in.
It's a huge opportunity for USA Prime.
Yeah, we love swag here on these game rewinds, and as we mentioned, Salinas absolutely brings us. Got the eye black going too.
Yeah, the eye black is an important accessory, especially out on the diamond now. A lot of guys really big into the art of eye black.
You know, and I'm all about it. I've coached for a long time, and I've heard some coaches that, you know, get really mad as that one's getting away from him, and he will take off and message scores the second run for USA Prime National. And now they have a runner at second with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Becerra pretty shaken up out there.
But it bothers me when coaches say, you know, no, just the line underneath the eyes. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that a guy has to look like Robert Pattinson's Batman, but I think to have some fun with that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think Bryce Harper was really the guy that kind of took that to the forefront of the modern baseball look when it comes to the eye black. Obviously, you think about a guy like Jackson Dart with it going down his eye at college football for Ole Miss. But I think guys have found ways to express themselves on the baseball field, and it can be as easy as the accessories that Salinas is wearing, and sometimes it's about going a little bit further and accentuating things with some top-notch eye black that maybe looks like you spent a long time in front of a mirror working things out.
Yeah, like over the summer I got to do an extra bases with Martin Scheller, Mississippi State commit.
All about it.
Yeah, and that was the question I asked him at the end was what's the go-to for the eye black? What's the tip for the people out there? And he's got a couple different designs that he kind of has in his bag that he kind of rotates through, but yeah, he just knows that it's a way of expressing yourself out on the field, which is always fun to do in a sport like baseball where you kind of have the freedom to wear what you want.
Runners taking off for third. They're going to have him in a rundown. Alvarado going down for the second out. And we talk about catchers not really getting a lot of opportunities to run, and Alvarado easily gets caught in that rundown. He gave up pretty quickly on that one.
Yeah, he tried to give him a little bit of a double move there, but didn't quite work out for Pork Chop there.
So an opportunity at another run taken away from Aiden Salinas, unless he decides to park this one over the top of the fence. Swinging here, that one is down the left side. That is all kinds of trouble all the way back to the wall. Aiden Salinas going to be making his way to second base and got himself a 2-out stand-up double. A 2-0 lead is seemingly on its way to being much more as USA Prime National's bats are rolling.
Yeah, strong double celebration there as well. It's second for Salinas. And
hey, that was another run on the board right there.
Fantastic.
You know, if they don't have that run down, Alvarado is easily scoring from second on that. But they're still up 2-0, and now they turn to Dexter McCleon Jr. with another opportunity to cash in. 2-0 lead already for USA Prime National here in the fourth.
Yeah, really tough spot now for Becerra. Kind of just seems like things are getting away from you now and just out there trying to do your job as well.
Oh, big hack from McCleon there, an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, and Becerra loses his hat in the process.
Yeah, he was trying to get a run scored immediately, maybe two, with that kind of swing.
Well, now that he's got it out of his system, let's see what he does here in an 0-1. First time I can remember Becerra losing his hat.
Yeah, I think like we talked about, the sweat could be an issue here now as you get later into these games.
I thought it was the momentum from McCleon's swing.
Could be, yeah,
just
the
off
wind.
Top of his head, yeah. Pitch number 74, about to come out of the hand of the Sequoia left-hander. Gonna miss low. We're seeing a lot more aggressiveness on the base pass here from USA Prime as this game wears on.
Yeah, and obviously Salinas, a fast player, maybe Alvarado shouldn't have been the one being aggressive on the base pass necessarily, but yeah, it does seem like with USA Prime just really showing confidence is the biggest thing when they're out there now. Now that you've got some runs on the board, you feel a little bit better that you've broken through and you can be a little more flashy on the base pass.
Swing and a miss on a 78-mile-an-hour changeup that was low and outside. Now has McCleon in a 1-2 hole.
Yeah, we've seen Dexter swing and miss quite a few times now. His first time up, he struck out swinging, and now 2 swing and misses in this at-bat to this point.
I will tell you, though, I mean, we talk about composure. We talk about coming together and having this business-like mentality when you're on these national teams. I would be hard-pressed to believe that a 2028 who is playing up 2 years into a tournament does not feel a little bit more pressure than everybody else.
Definitely. It's a huge moment for you. 2028s, they don't really get a huge chance to get the eyes on them throughout the summer really anywhere. Obviously, there's people watching, and you've got the scouting organizations watching, but you don't get the same kind of eyes as the 2026s that are aged for this tournament and the 2027s as well.
Salinas taking off for third. The throw from Glogorski is not in time. So Aiden Salinas takes third base, and McCleon can cash in here 90 feet away from a third run.
Yeah, I think, Dexter, even though he's a 2028, obviously he's had the eyes on him before.
He's used to it.
But you got to think about the fact that, Becerra at this point pitched 2 high school seasons at this point as well, and Dexter just now about to enter his freshman year.
Yeah, he had just finished up middle school at the time when this game was played. A few weeks removed from it. Ropes that one down the left side. Oh, man. Another run scores. Might have had an injury here at third base, as McCleon's going to find himself at first with an RBI single and a 3-0 lead now for USA Prime National off an extremely hard-hit ball from 2028's #1 player.
Yeah, I wish we had the exit velo numbers on that one because it was screaming down the baseline there, and it seems like maybe it just took a bad hop or just got a little bit misplayed there at third base and got a player down for the moment.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll return to action, and hopefully everyone's okay, and we'll be back with you more shortly in this Game Rewind. Hudson Newell is back up and in play here at third base after that hard hit ball off the bat of Dexter McCleon Jr. that made it 3-0 USA Prime National here in the 4th inning. Now we're going to move from him to Armbruster. That's in for a strike out of the hands of Becerra. Ethan Armbruster at the plate with a 3-0 lead for USA Prime National. They have really taken advantage of their opportunities here in this inning and have driven up the pitch count of Becerra. This next pitch will be number 80. Armbruster skies that one and is on its way into center field, and Gino Goralski has that one for an inning-ending catch, but now before USA Prime National has gone up 3-0. We'll be back with more from this Game Rewind.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage. And keep it juicy.
Woogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come flow with the sounds of the mighty Mike.
Samir Foster's back on the mound with a 3-0 lead as we move to inning number 5 in this Game Rewind from the 16U National Championship. He's going to face Chip Glogorski, Trey Wyndham, and Gino Goralski for Georgia Jackets here, trying to answer after giving up 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, you definitely really want to help yourselves out here. We saw Becerra kind of struggle a little bit pitching in that last inning, and see if his lineup can help kind of clean up the damages there.
Leworski with that bat wiggle holds off as he watches that for ball 1.
Got towel in the back pocket, a catcher staple around here.
Leworski with a rocket. That's going to get past McCleon at shortstop. Fuller at shortstop and into center field for a base hit.
Good work right there to get things started. It is definitely a huge asset, and we'll see him get his courtesy runner. A hot topic on today's episode, but
well, the last inning he was standing in the on deck circle, which is why it took so much time between innings.
Yeah, obviously you guys didn't have to
That's right.
deal with that. You got to see whatever fun advertisement we ran there, but yeah, I think he's certainly willing to give up his base running duties and get ready to go for the next one.
That one's in play. Third baseman has it, throws to second for 1 out, throw to first in time. Oh, no, they got him. They did not get him at first base.
I was really close.
Trey Wyndham standing at first base now in an extremely close play. They're able to get the courtesy runner at second for the first out.
Yeah, Eli Jones in disbelief there at second base, thought he had him easily.
I think we might get an appeal on this one.
Looks like coach wants to have a conversation about it this time around. I think that's a tough one to appeal for because from home plate, you just don't have the angle to call that at all. It's a tough one. You can't really. I think they're. Oh, okay. I think they were trying to appeal the call at second base. The runner was out at second base, and he'll be safe at first. Is how it's going to stay.
All right. So Wyndham is going to be standing at first. The courtesy runner was out at second base, and now here is Gino Goralski with 1 down. Able to get the lead runner. We talked about the pitch count for Diego Becerra in the last inning. He threw his 80th pitch. This first one that we see from Foster to Goralski is number 37.
Yeah, it's a big difference when it comes to efficiency, and obviously that last inning was a huge factor in why Becerra threw so many pitches, but Foster's just been absolutely rolling in his work today.
Goralski flies that one back foul, 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah, just the composure, the mechanics, there is a ton to like with Foster, and we're obviously singing the praises of somebody who doesn't need their praises sung that much more for a guy that comes in with his credentials as the #1 righty in the state of Florida, 3rd overall, and again, #1 ranked right-handed pitcher in the nation.
Yeah, all we can hope is that we get to see him much more for the next couple of years.
Yep. And this is outside. Yeah, the fastball tops out at 94. We've not really seen that. He's kind of just been pretty much cruising along. Has really been able to work in the breaking ball, put the fastball wherever he wants, and thus far, he has stifled the Georgia Jackets batters.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not too sure. I can't remember if he had already had a start in this tournament or not, but sometimes that will affect a guy. If he started earlier in the tournament and then, maybe on 3 days rest comes back around to try and start another game, you're not going to see a guy totally maxing it out.
Goralski gets that one past Fuller at shortstop, and he'll advance the runner to second. So first and second now with 1 down. Now going to see Ellis Aldridge.
The Georgia Jackets really trying to put Fuller at short to work this inning. You had the single by Chip that got past him, and then now this one just kind of sneaks through, just past his outreach glove on the diving attempt.
Kennesaw State commit Aldridge now. So we can eat into this 3-0 lead that USA Prime Nationals enjoying here in the 5th inning. First pitch misses at 89.
Yeah, that's Trey Wyndham there at second base.
Aldridge swing and a miss at that fastball at 89.
I think if you're Wyndham, you kind of have in the back of your mind getting thrown out at home plate. That last time around, you're a little bit hesitant to get home on a hit to the outfield here, especially to left. Don't want to deal with the arm of Jordan Griffin finding you again.
1-1's the count to Aldridge. Runners at first and second in the forms of Wyndham and Kowalski. Foster loaded up on the left side of the rubber, fires in there, slow motion. Another
it deserved
nasty
it.
breaking ball, 75 mile an hour, catches him looking.
That one deserved the slow-mo for sure. That was a beautiful pitch right there.
Count is now 1-2. Got 2 on, 2 down.
See if Aldridge can make something happen here for Georgia Jackets.
Oh, ropes it right back into the glove of Foster,
catch.
and that is going to end the inning. 2 stranded and a 3-0 lead preserved for USI Prime National. We'll be back with this game rewind.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women. We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Diego Becerra's day is over after 4 innings, and Georgia Jackets will now turn things over to another lefty. This one's Sebastian Walsh out of Denmark. 6'4", 205-pounder, uncommitted, 7th-ranked lefty in Georgia, number 60 overall. Fastball up around 87, got a changeup 78 to 80, slider 75 to 72, and he will be facing off against Eli Jones, Maddox Lassard, and Landon Green, as USA Prime National has a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, we've seen Sebastian Walsh already on one of these game rewinds, and earlier in the summer as well, NPI playing with Smart Tense. We had the game rewind of their game versus Aces that we covered here just a couple of weeks ago. But Walsh, definitely a fun pitching prospect to look at. He made the Future Games team for Georgia, and definitely a guy that, one of those guys that falls into that category of, you know, played at Future Games, a pretty high-ranked player, but hasn't chosen a college just yet.
Well, a guy who obviously made quite an impression on the Prep Baseball Georgia staff because, again, he would wind up in the 24 Future Games and then began 2025 as a member of preseason All-State Showcase.
That ball came out of nowhere. Good reflexes there by Chip behind the plate. See if Eli Jones can get things rolling. USA Prime coming off of a great offensive inning. Hoping to repeat it here and give yourself some insurance runs.
Misses on that 86-mile-an-hour fastball, so the count is now going to be 3-1. Timeout. There is another ball on the field of play. Getting it this time, we had East Cobb Astros and Indiana Bulls playing on the next field over,
which I believe took an hour and 15 minutes more than this game did.
Yeah, the winners of this one were just standing around waiting. Miss inside to Jones, and a leadoff walk issued by Walsh. Now here's Maddox Lassard, whose last trip to the plate resulted in a double. Now Walsh in this outing just kind of struggling to find his zone early on. We'll see if he can square things up a little bit more as Walsh is trying to now face against Maddox Lassard.
Yeah, I think Walsh is just kind of coming into this in a tough spot. You know, we talked about his earlier performance in that game for Smart since he did come in relief, but a lot of these guys maybe just not used to coming in these games, in these situations. But when you're this late into a tournament, this is the semifinals, the final day, you know, whoever wins this game, the next game is the last one, and is in a desperation kind of moment that Georgia Jackets finds themselves in, down late in this game. You're trying to use all the pitching you can. So Walsh maybe just getting put in a tough spot and didn't get the warm-up pitches he'd like to have.
Yeah, when Georgia Jackets makes their next uniform order, I'd like them to get a hat for Walsh that is one size smaller.
Yeah, that's a constant topic of conversation with these broadcasts, is guys who just can't keep their hats on.
Walsh seemingly is losing it after every pitch. Which, you know, nearly lost it there again. I do wonder, though, so if a ball is in play and a guy's immediate reaction because he loses his hat after every pitch is to go get my hat, does it mess with their ability to feel the ball? Because you now have this, like, repetition that, okay, I'm going to throw it, and then I have to grab my hat because it's falling off my head, as he's going to actually have a situation there as the run is going to be safe at second base. You know, how often does that come into play? You know, when you have a ball put into play, a weak grounder, if you're typically going to your right side and picking up your hat because it's always there, and you got a weak grounder to the left, are you going to be in the frame of mind to go field that ball?
Yeah, I think obviously it's not something you practice, you know? It just kind of happens, and it comes down to your instincts. I feel like you should try and ignore the hat for a second.
Hit by pitch, so Lessard will make his way down to first base. So we're going to have runners at first and second with nobody out here in the fifth, and USA Prime National already up 3-0.
And with this game being in late June, you know, maybe future games rosters hadn't been fully ironed out yet, but you can see once this camera flips back, Hudson Graham, the scouting director for Prep Baseball Georgia, looking over on the left side there right above the head of Sebastian Walsh, maybe getting the final confirmation that he wanted to give him an invite maybe.
Well, 10 pitches in, Walsh has thrown 2 strikes. So let's see if he can change that with Landon Green. Yeah, see if he can change that with Landon Green coming to the plate with runners at first and second. Jordan Griffin, the on-deck circle. The last hitter in the order for USA Prime now at the plate. We got another ball on the field.
I think in this position that Walsh finds himself in, you're certainly looking for a double play ball. Last time around, USA Prime did a great job with the double steal that eliminated the double play, and then I think in that inning they still didn't get any runs out of it, but here we go.
Green shows bunt, but pulls back as it sounds a little high and inside.
Yeah, certainly control-wise has not been Walsh's day thus far, but a double play is still in order. You avoid that by avoiding that bunt there from Landon Green.
There's the 1-0. Green ropes that down the left side foul. Even the count. Runners at first and second. Another foul. That went off an 82-mile-an-hour fastball. So Walsh now has himself up in this count, 1-2. May have found his rhythm. Again, first 10 pitches, 2 strikes, and he's thrown back-to-back strikes here. Both of them fouled off.
See if really the best case scenario is you just get out of this inning without giving up runs. Is the biggest thing you're looking for here, and even just like 1 run, maybe even be you know, not a bad spot to find yourself getting out of this one with no outs and 2 runners on right now.
Elevated pitch. Green puts that in play. Third baseman has it. Throws to second for 1 out. The throw to first.
Not in time.
Not in time. We'll have runners at the corners now. Able to get the runner at second base, but USA Prime National still in scoring position here with a 3-0 lead.
Looks like the coach going out to have a word with the umpire about something. Not necessarily sure.
Yeah, so Ryan Williams going out to talk to the umpire. We'll see.
I think maybe talking about an interference call.
So the runner at first is now going to be out, so results in a double play off that ball from Landon Green's bat. So it'll be 2 down, a runner at third now.
Not necessarily sure what happened there. It looked like from the motion we just saw from the first base umpire, motion we just saw from the coach there at home, is that maybe Landon Green put his arms up. I'm not really sure what happened there.
I think when Landon Green made his way to first base, he put his hands up to signify being safe, and maybe when he did so, he might have come in contact with the first baseman. Gotcha.
Yeah, you certainly can't, make contact with the first baseman intentionally. That's an odd thing. I didn't catch it in real time. Maybe, for our viewers right here, it's your time to rewind and watch it back in slow-mo. But nonetheless, now you have a double play. Great work to find yourself with 2 outs now for Sebastian Walsh, trying to get this inning over.
Well, he will certainly take as the first pitch to Jordan Griffin.
Here we go.
The glove of his first baseman. And that will end the inning. Stranded a runner at third, but a 3-0 lead remains for USA Prime National when we come back from this game rewind.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Inning number 6 for Samir Foster as he steps back onto the mound for USA Prime National, who lead 3-0. He's going to be facing off against Hudson Newell, be followed by Luke Nikowski and Mason Meehan as Georgia Jackets tries to get something rolling. They were defensively able to deny USA Prime another run in the 5th, but still trail 3-0. Foster just rolling along, pitch number 46 for him in inning number 6.
Yeah, what an asset it is to have a pitcher like this, especially semifinals of this, long, just about a week-long tournament. You're in the semifinals, to have a starting pitcher that is going the distance and really hasn't thrown a ton of pitches to get there either. It's absolutely phenomenal for your team, especially when right now, if the lead holds, you are heading to the final.
That breaking ball that skipped away from Message's glove runs the count to 1-1. Newell puts that one in play down the right side. First baseman has it himself, touches the bag for the first out.
Just continuing to work quickly through at bats. That was a 3-pitch, so now through 5.1 innings of work, just 48 pitches thrown by Samir Foster. It's astounding.
Georgia Tech commit Luke Nikowski now at the plate.
Excited to see what Georgia Tech's got cooking, especially with this 2026 class. You throw Deion Cole into the mix as well. A number of other great players across the board, and you can only imagine what we'll see at Georgia Tech over the next couple of years.
Yeah, they have done a fantastic job of keeping guys in state. Drew Burris from Houston County, a guy that they were able to get on campus.
Preseason All-American, I believe.
And I think a lot of people didn't think Drew Burris was ever going to step foot onto a college campus, but he did, and just had an absolute fantastic freshman year. And Georgia Jackets has a lot going for it, and Luke Nikowski is going to make his way down to first base after getting the second hit by pitch from Foster.
He took that one on the front hip there and makes his way down to first.
Hit a lefty, hit a righty. He's an equal opportunist. So I'd say that much about Foster, who's now going to deal with Mason Meehan, the Kennesaw State commit.
I think right now Georgia Jackets just trying to find any way you can to get runs here late in this game. You just want to pull yourself back into this here. It's a quick breather here for Samir Foster, a quick conversation. Just make sure he's not losing hold on anything here.
Just 50 pitches for him, and we've talked about the pitch count a lot with him, but it has certainly been impressive stuff that we've seen out of him thus far. Just really doing whatever he wants to on the mound. We've seen him get up to 93 miles an hour, touch that last inning. Just has not struggled at all. Not a lot of stress pitches. Hasn't pitched from the stretch, to be honest, all too often.
I mean, like, we really even haven't really seen him throw like 2 consecutive balls very much in this game. In that at bat there with Nikowski, a bit of an anomaly for him in this one.
We'll have a runner at first against Meehan from West Forsyth. Watches that breaking ball drop in for strike 1, 74.
Looking back, Nikowski at first.
Swing and a miss on that low breaking ball is going to run the count to 0-2.
I think Meehan maybe just a little bit antsy to try and move that runner from first.
So he's got in store here on the 0-2. 3 straight breaking balls. That one's put in play. Third baseman has it. Throws in time for the out, but Nikowski will advance to second base.
Yeah, kind of benefited from not making great contact there. If you would have put a little more of a ride into it, you probably see a double play ball, but eliminates a double play, moves Nikowski into scoring position with 1 out.
See if Carson Snipes can cash in.
Sorry, 2 outs.
Marietta 2026. Trying to get Georgia Jackets on the board here in the 6th inning. They trail 3-0. Spot in the championship game of the 16U National Championships on the line. First ball swinging, Snipes puts that in play. Fuller has it. Oh, it's going to get away from the first baseman. Nikowski is going to cross the plate for a run, and Carson Snipes standing at first base, delivering an RBI for Georgia Jackets.
Yeah, that was a much-needed spot here. We talked about how they kind of lucked out not getting the double play ball there. At least Georgia Jackets did luck out there. And Nikowski, some heads-up base running, and that ball gets away from the first baseman, and Snipes finds himself with an RBI, and Georgia Jackets their first run of the game.
Now it's Drew Harmon's turn, the Florida State commit. He can add to this momentum here. A 3-1 game now in the 6th. Taking off for second. Throw is going to be way late as it goes into center field. Snipes going to stay put at that second base bag.
I think the ball just kind of got stuck in his glove there trying to make the throw down.
Now 1-0 count to Harmon. Man, nasty swing and a miss on the other breaking ball at 77. Interesting the amount of breaking balls that we've seen out of Foster this inning.
Yeah, I was about to say we're not seeing the fastball, but he's certainly looking real good with that breaking ball.
He goes right back to it again there. Another swing and a miss, 77.
3 straight breaking balls in this at bat. See if he comes back for a 4th to maybe end this inning.
1-2 count to Harmon. He does the 7th of 8 pitches. Another breaking ball, a swing and a miss, and the drop third, and they'll tag Harmon for the out. Georgia Jackets gets 1. It's 3-1 when we come back from LakePoint Sports.
Grilling is an art. Don't forget to add sausage, Picasso. Keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come flow with the sounds of the mighty.
Bottom of the 6th with USA Prime up 3-1 over Georgia Jackets, and they will turn to Chase Fuller, Lash Henderson, and Kyler Message. Sebastian Walsh out for his 2nd inning here for Georgia Jackets in this relief opportunity.
I think now a run back in the favor of Georgia Jackets, and USA Prime looking for insurance here in the bottom of the 6th.
Fuller, Florida's #1 player in 27, will get things started for USA Prime.
Definitely a great part of the lineup to be up when you're looking for quick run production. This 2-3-4 is vicious. A little bit inside.
Yeah, just misses. Count's now going to be 2-0 to Fuller. Strikes have been hard to come by for Walsh since stepping into this game. Sends that one back foul, 84-mile-an-hour fastball. Get away from the catcher, and you see Cory Fuller back there underneath the Audi Marietta sign, filming his son's AB.
Definitely a guy you can't miss.
Yep.
When he's walking around. Typically, you'll see him sporting some Florida State gear as well.
Well, this was the end of a long tournament run, so he may have run out of Seminoles paraphernalia. Fuller's going to make his way down to first with a leadoff walk. I'll bring up Lash Henderson.
Though I do doubt that he could ever run out of Florida State clothes to wear.
Yeah, that's true. You know, we talked before about, just the business nature of these teams, and when you play for a national team like this. I think one thing that often goes underappreciated is these guys will probably never play, unless they reach the majors, play for a team this talented.
No.
I mean,
it's tough to come by, even a college squad.
Yeah, even when you get to the college level, because guys getting drafted, I mean, you obviously can't have every #1 player from respective states all coming together on one college team, although LSU might be trying to pull that off here, Vanderbilt of late. But they get to do that during this summer with a squad like this. So an extremely special opportunity for these USA Prime national players.
Yeah, I think, when it comes to the MLB draft and everything, you can almost there's a certain number of players you can just count out of going to college. And it's increasingly difficult to put together a roster like that. When that's always been an issue, and then you factor in NIL maybe entices guys to get on campus, but the MLB draft money is as good as it'll ever be, and it just keeps getting better. So it's also another side that kind of moves it in the favor of going to the league.
Well, MLB has the end of their collective bargaining agreement after the 2027 season, and I will be interested to see what happens in terms of draft dollars, and if there's any increases. There's a rundown, and Fuller makes his way to second base as that one skips into left field. If we have a situation where, the amount of money that's being given to kids to go to college, does it offset it where, maybe MLB has to say, all right, we have to rework our system. And maybe maybe you have a situation where a guy doesn't get to go straight from high school to the minors, and guys have to go to college for an indeterminate amount of time. I mean, if there's some kind of a salary cap or some different structure at the major league level, the dollars are going to have to change somewhere along the lines, and maybe it ends up changing in the amateur draft.
Yeah, I think the glaring decision to be made to me is, do you get rid of the age of going to college? If you go to college, do you have to wait until you're 20 to get drafted? I think that's a big problem. There's a lot of guys that, sure, they want to go to college, but they want to go one and done because they know they're going to be ready.
Henderson draws himself a walk. So we've seen back-to-back walks to Fuller and Henderson, and Ryan Williams coming out, and he's going to be taking the ball away from Sebastian Walsh. We're going to have a new pitcher for Georgia Jackets, and a little bit more of this conversation when we come back from this Game Rewind. Spencer Wood is the new pitcher for Georgia Jackets, and he inherits a situation with 2 on and nobody out here, and Kyler Message at the plate for USA Prime National, who already lead 3-1 here in the 6th inning. Wood out of Kings Ridge Christian. He's turned to a catcher he knows all too well, and Chip Gligorski, his high school teammate.
We've seen a few errors here Obviously, you know, the 2 free passes by Walsh is what sets them up for this point, but you also had the base running error where Walsh made a good pickoff move and Fuller still advanced to second base on an errant throw. That's just the kind of mistakes you can't have late in these games, and already in a position where the pitcher wasn't looking too hot in his outing, it just really just continues to hurt you a little bit more.
Well, after Walsh struggled to find the strike zone, we'll see if Wood follows. Again, no detriment to Sebastian Walsh, who would wind up in the future games. It's tough for these guys to enter these situations. Runners taken off for third and second. They will both advance a bag.
Fuller once again almost gets off the back of the base that time.
Yeah.
Last time got caught with it. This
got
time
caught at
holds
second.
on.
So runners now at second and third for Message, who's already got himself a RBI double today. Message, the lone 2026 on a, excuse me, he's the 2027. Max Sard is the 2026. Message out of IMG Academy. Florida's #1 outfielder in 2027, looking to add to this 3-1 lead. Skies that one foul, and that's going to go back out of play. I think they just deposited that one onto the game between Indiana Bulls and East Cobb Astros. It's going on to the field to the left of them. Message ropes another foul. Count is now going to be full.
Working a long at bat here for Wood to start off his appearance.
Comes pitch number 7. Swing and a miss, gives himself a strikeout, so Wood enters this game and gets a much-needed K.
Now you're looking for a double play ball once again. You kind of on a technicality got it the last time you were looking for it with the interference call at first base, but this time around, hopefully a cleaner way to get out of this inning.
Pork Chop Alvarado try to build on this 3-1 lead. Ropes the first one, rips that foul down the left side.
And I feel like with a nickname like Pork Chop, you can only assume he's got some power in that bat. We haven't really gotten to see him really unload on one, but you kind of have to assume he's got some power.
Gets a called strike on the outside. Count's not going to be 0-2.
Yeah, Wood's doing a good job of finding the strike zone here. Really like what he's thrown thus far.
Spencer Wood delivers, misses high upstairs at 81. Makes the count 1-2. Alvarado puts that in play. Nikowski has it. He's going to throw to first for the out, but they will score another run to make it 4-1 here in the 6th.
Yeah, it was a tough spot for Georgia Jackets. You're playing infield in. Nikowski playing on the grass, trying to eliminate that potential run scoring, but at that point, it's just a matter of getting the out that you need.
So in steps Aiden Salinas. Miami commit out to build on a now 4-1 lead. Wood gets that inside for a strike, 79. Misses on the fastball upstairs as Legorski pops up and puts that ball in play as our cameras skipped ahead on us again as we missed a moment there from Aiden Salinas, and he drives in Lash Henderson.
And we get to watch in slow-mo too. Nice high five there between Lash and Dexter.
So 2 more runs for USA Prime here in the 6th inning. Score is now 5-1. Now it's Dexter McCleon Jr.'s turn. His first pitch swinging and that 79-mile-an-hour fastball that's low in the zone.
Now 2 outs here, so we'll see if Wood can get out of this inning without surrendering any more runs.
Wood goes downstairs again. It's a swing and a miss. Count now 0-2. Saw McCleon just absolutely deliver a rocket off his bat. He fouls that one off. It had Hudson Newell down on the ground for a little while at third base, but he was able to stay in this game. Count's still 0-2. Wood delivers. McCleon sends that right back to him. Wood flips it to first base for the ending out. But 2 more runs for USA Prime National. They're up 5-1. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Trailing 5-1, Georgia Jackets' hopes now come down to the top of the 7th inning, and extending this game, they will look to Chip Glogorski, Trey Wyndham, and Gino Goralski, as Samir Foster is out for inning number 7. Just 58 pitches so far from the nation's #1 ranked right-hander.
Yeah, we're seeing why he is ranked so highly. It's been quite a day for Samir Foster up there on the bump. We'll see if Georgia Jackets can mount a major comeback here to keep their hopes alive of a ticket to the championship game.
Glogorski holds off on that breaking ball that misses outside. 5 strikeouts so far for Foster. Another miss on a fastball. Count's now going to be 2-1. Last inning, we saw him rely largely on the breaking ball, almost as if he was toying with batters.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing a little bit more fastball-heavy diet here in the 7th as he's facing off against Glogorski.
Yeah, we've seen 2 breaking balls first, and then now 2 straight fastballs here. We'll see what he brings now with 2-2. Back to the breaking ball.
That miss is going to make the count 2-2.
I think Georgia Jackets really just needs to be patient here, and you're already seeing,
3-2.
You're already seeing Chip go pretty deep into this at bat now. Haven't really seen Foster in a position like this in this game. Hasn't given up a walk to this point.
Glogorski fouls that one off. 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Like he's had to have seen everything Foster has to offer here, as the next pitch will be the 7th of this AB, and number 65 for him in this outing. Comes the payoff pitch. Sends that one foul.
Chip just doing his job to stay alive here in this inning.
Foster getting himself a breather here.
Yeah, not sure what the issue is here with the baseballs. Sometimes a guy wants one with some scuff marks already on it, so maybe Foster favoring a used ball. Chip adjusting the chains here before he steps into the box. A little late into the at-bat to start changing things up.
Skies that one down the right side. That one's going to go foul. AB is going to continue for Glogorski. Yeah, just barely out of the reach of the right fielder, Dexter McCleon Jr. Next pitch will be number 9.
Definitely the longest at bat that Samir Foster has dealt with to this point, but like we mentioned, hasn't given up a walk yet in this game. So see if he can get Gligorski to go down.
Swing, a miss, a strikeout. Number 6 for Samir Foster, who has just been in his bag this entire game.
Goodness. Samir Foster, to this point, quite a few strikeouts. I believe he's at 6 strikeouts right now. All some of the dirtiest pitches you'll find out here, and maybe across a whole summer from Samir Foster.
Yeah, I mean,
unbelievable.
Look, we've had an entire summer to kind of look back on now, and you know, there's some games that obviously we didn't watch every single minute of every game pitched here, and it's kind of hard to quantify the future games because a lot of times guys will only go out and pitch 1 inning. Sometimes you might get them out for 2. It's rare that a guy goes out and pitches 3 full innings in that environment. This may be the best pitched game that I saw all year long here at LakePoint Sports from Samir Foster.
Yeah, you don't see a guy go this deep into a game without surrendering a walk. I think that's the biggest thing. It's a huge testament to the control he has, but also his pitches. He's throwing some balls, but he's using them correctly. And I think that's a huge thing that shows, you know, like we've talked about, how ready he is for the next level at such a young age is how he handles himself in these pitch sequences.
Breaking ball that skips away from Alvarado.
And as per usual, we talk really well about a guy, and then he decides to prove us wrong quickly, but
yeah.
I have a feeling it won't become a habit for Samir Foster.
I apologize. It's Maddox Lasar behind the plate. So many ranked catchers in this game, you start to lose track of all of them.
See what Wyndham's got here.
Count is 1-2 to Wyndham. Already 1 down off that strikeout to Gligorski. 6 strikeouts so far for Foster. Make it number 7 as he gets Wyndham down on strikes, and Georgia Jackets down to their last out as Samir Foster just continues to be masterful on the mound.
Yeah, and look, for Georgia Jackets right now, this is obviously crunch time. Like you said, you're down to your last leg here with Gino Gorowski coming to the plate, and you got 4 runs to score if you even want to take this to the bottom of the 7th. Sorry, so gotta just play team baseball right now with 2 outs and down 4.
0-1 count to the outfielder out of Denmark, 7th-ranked outfielder in the state of Georgia, trying to keep Georgia Jackets alive here in the top of the 7th, trailing 5-1.
Well struck.
Yeah, Gorowski sends that down the left side, and he can absolutely fly, and he's going to be making his way to second base. Does he hold there? He does. Gino Gorowski with a much-needed boost for Georgia Jackets, a 2-out double. Got him in business here, but still 1 out away from watching USA Prime National earn a spot in the 16U National Championship Final. See if Georgia Jackets can keep their run alive here as Ellis Aldridge comes to the plate.
Yeah, that's at least something that'll bring some confidence to the guys. Maybe pick everybody up off the bench in the dugout and hope that everybody's on the same page here. We're looking for a rally at 2 outs.
Miss on the first pitch.
Just a little bit low right there. Aldridge lets it go by. We'll see how Samir Foster handles his, once again, potential final out of this outing.
Pitch number 75 come out of the hands of the nation's #1 ranked right-hander, and that one's skied. Left field, Griffin camps underneath it. He's got it. Samir Foster polishes off an absolute masterpiece. USA Prime National win 5-1 over Georgia Jackets to earn themselves a spot in the 16U National Championship Final. And cannot say enough about the efforts of Samir Foster. 7 innings pitched, allows 7 hits, just 1 earned run, no walks, and 7 strikeouts.
It's just unbelievable outing for Samir Foster out on the mound, like we talked about multiple times throughout this. One of the best performances you're going to find in a given summer here at Lake Point. Absolutely unbelievable.
So USA Prime National 5-1 winners. Again, they'd earn a spot in the 16U National Championship Final, ultimately losing to Indiana Bulls 7-5 and what was an absolute epic, one of the best games that we had, without question, across the summer here at LakePoint Sports. And if you're so inclined, we did a live broadcast off of that one, so you can go back on the LakePoint Sports YouTube channel and find that one. So, again, just a wonderful performance out of Samir Foster. We had some extra base hits here from Aiden Salinas and Kyler Message, and a USA Prime National team that came to this tournament with a lot of expectations, hard to see that they did not leave living up to every one of them.
Yeah, and you know, a young team
Yeah.
coming and playing up in the 16U. I think also Motor City Hit Dogs had a deep
Yep.
run into the playoff here, and they were a young team playing up. But I think the biggest thing is that we saw them after a couple of innings, no offense from either side. USA Prime steps up quickly. They have some big moments, and then they just rode off of that all the way through this game.
Yeah, an incredibly strong performance on the mound from Samir Foster, who now we know why is the #1 ranked right-handed pitcher in the class of 2027. We're getting closer to live baseball here again at LakePoint Sports with the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament starting February 14th. So make sure you come by campus to see that, or you can follow our broadcast across that weekend and the weekend thereafter as we get things started with high school baseball here in the state of Georgia. Until then, we'll be back with more of these game rewinds. So make sure you stick with us on our social channels as we'll announce which games come next, and you'll also get more of the great content that we continue to pump out across those channels. So until next time, for Grayson, Rosen, I'm Cory McCartney, signing off for LakePoint Sports.